Am I the asshole for yelling at my mom for insisting I'm pregnant? Okay, so I don't really know where to start. Sorry if this is a little brief or TMI lol. I, 16F, am very late on my period, and I believe it is just stress related because I have literally not had any sexual interaction with anybody. All I do is go to my friends, who is also a female, house and work, but once I told my mom my period is late, she instantly jumps to the conclusion of me being pregnant, and when I bring up the fact that it is literally impossible, she shrugs it off and still insists I am pregnant. And somehow whenever I bring up how and why this is unlikely, she gets more upset. Today I was bringing up that I am still late, and she starts yelling at me being pregnant, so I asked her who she thinks would have possibly gotten me pregnant, since she knows I am single and literally have only female friends, and she just shrugs it off and continues yelling at me, and told me, well, if you're not pregnant you should have nothing to worry about if you're not pregnant. As if trying to insist that I wouldn't have to keep defending myself so hard if I wasn't pregnant. For some reason, this caused me to snap because I am tired of being accused of something that literally isn't true and making me feel really shitty about myself. After I told her off, she shoved past me and hasn't spoken to me since. Am I the asshole in this situation? Y'all, let's not berate this young person for talking to her mom about this. It's concerning to miss your period. If it's stress, that's pretty alarming to be so stressed that your hormones go out of whack. Same if it's not enough body fat. And heaven forbid it's something else. Not the asshole, and that's super weird your mom is acting like this. Does she frequently get irrational and yell at you? If there is another adult you can tell, feel free. Planned Parenthood can also help. They do women's health, not just reproduction stuff. Not the asshole. And you should see a doctor. Your mom should be more concerned if you're saying you're really late and not pregnant. You could have a hormone issue, cysts, fibroids, any number of issues that should be treated. It's almost like she wants you to be pregnant because she's not even mad that you're pregnant, just instant that you are. Bad parenting right there. When my period stopped at 13, I had a massive tumor on my right ovary. Everyone assumed I was pregnant then, too, but I was a virgin. Make your mom take you to a doctor. Mine didn't believe me until the tumor was so big I looked pregnant and I had to have major abdominal surgery with a huge incision to get it all out. Messed my belly up for years until I got reconstructive surgery on it. Your mom is being mentally, emotionally abusive to you. You likely have experienced this for so long it feels normal, but it is not normal. You are 16 and your mom is less mature than you it would appear. It is very hard to not have a good support system when you're young. There will come a time that you will have that support and kindness. I'm sorry your mother is not the person you deserve. Just know that most people are trying their best, and hopefully she improves as a person. Not the asshole, obviously. How late are you? Are we talking it's now day 35 or it's now day 68? I ask because if it's longer than normal late, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and go to the doctor. You can have a pregnancy test so your mother stops with this, and you can also get blood work done to make sure you aren't anemic or have a vitamin deficiency. And not the asshole. Your mom is being over the top. Not the asshole. My period was all wonky when I was that age. I have PCOS and my mom does too, so at least she understood and that wasn't a problem. I would probably see if you could prove it to her that you're not pregnant by taking a pregnancy test. Although I wouldn't be surprised if she accuses you of faking it, so maybe take it in front of her or have a doctor administer the test, if that's something you're comfortable with, or maybe talk to a trusted adult, dad, guidance counselor, family friend, aunt, grandmother, to see if they can talk her down. Am I the asshole for beating my 25M girlfriend's 24F dad 51M in a hot dog eating contest? Throwaway for anonymity. Okay, so the hot dog eating contest happened like 6 months ago during the summer, and I had no idea that I did anything wrong, but my girlfriend and I were arguing about something else and she brought the contest up and said I had acted childishly, and I wanted to know if there was anything that I had to apologize for. So, basically, 6 months ago my girlfriend invited me to a food festival in her hometown. The day I arrived, I learned that there was a hot dog eating contest and the prize would be an $100 gift card to a large tech retail store. Being a casual competitive eater in college, I decided it would be a fun idea to enter and signed up on the website. When I told my GF's family I had entered the contest, my GF's dad good-naturedly clapped me on the back and said, "Let the best man win." Apparently, my GF's dad had won the hot dog eating contest for the last 4 years, and was somewhat expecting to win again. Wanting the gift card, I decided to give the contest my all. I ate a bunch of hot dogs. I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing, but by the time I was done, I'd eaten 16 hot dogs in 5 minutes, beating my GF's dad, who only ate 12 hot dogs. When I was done, my GF's brother Liam, 14M, and a bunch of his friends mobbed me, calling me the doggler, giving me high fives and clapping me on the back. They said that I had dethroned the doggler, pointing to my GF's dad, and that I was the new doggler, that I was a real glizzy rizzler, or something like that, and that I was just shoving glizzy after glizzy down my gullet. They posed for pictures with me. It was weird but kind of fun. Later, my GF's dad came up to me, shook my hand, and said I was good competition. He went home to do something in his woodshop, so I hung out with my GF, Liam, and his friends, going around to various food stalls and games. When we all ate dinner that night, the hot dog contest didn't come up at all, except for when Liam kept referring to me as the doggler and saying that he wanted to make a special doggler shirt for me. We had a nice breakfast the next morning. No sign that anything was wrong. Today though, my girlfriend brought up in our argument that her dad was actually really wounded by losing the hot eating contest, but just didn't say anything to me. I said if I wasn't supposed to enter the contest, then was it really a contest at all? And she said that it was less about the contest but about the special doggler shirt. Liam made his dad a doggler shirt for the years he won the contest, but I got the doggler 2024 shirt. She said that her dad only wanted to win the contest to connect with Liam and, if anything, I should be able to understand the masculine ego. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit. Posted the shirt. Opening square bracket. Not the asshole. You didn't really have any idea this was an important family tradition and moment until after you signed up. And who has control of the actions of a crowd of 14-year-olds anyway? That said, all this tension for a gift card is kinda intense. I hope you got something good with the prize money. How the fuck is this real? In the 2% chance this isn't phony. No. It's really fucking weird to be butthurt about losing a hot dog contest. She's even weirder for bringing it up months later. Dump her. Eat more dogs. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. When we all ate dinner that night. So you had dinner after eating 16 hot dogs? Not the asshole. Your girlfriend should have told you all this stuff before the hot dog eating contest, if at all, so you could respond accordingly. It certainly wasn't your responsibility to figure it all out. For all either of you know, her dad let you win to make you feel part of the family. If this is the worst she can throw at you in a heated argument, then you guys probably have a good relationship and you are a reasonable person. If the dad really is wounded, it sounds like he at least has the good sense to be embarrassed about how ridiculous that is and doesn't want you to know. There were no ill intentions on your behalf. You should celebrate your hot dog guzzling abilities with no shame. Not the asshole. This assertion is ridiculous and I think your girlfriend is making some odd assumptions. If true though, if a 51-year-old adult man can't handle losing a silly game and nickname, then it's his problem and needs to find better ways to engage his 14-year-old son that doesn't rely on eating copious amounts of processed meat once a year. Am I the asshole for kicking my mother-in-law out of my wife's baby shower? I, 28M, and my wife, 29F, are expecting our first baby in March and are very excited, but there have been some complications. My wife has been struggling with constant nausea and pain, which has led her to be basically bedridden the past few months. Her nausea has been a bit better lately, so my mom and sister decided to throw us a baby shower. I know that dad isn't typically invited, but that's just how my family does it. Well, my mother-in-law is not happy about any of it. She is upset that my family is throwing the shower, even though she never offered to help, and upset that men were invited. That, I could see from her point of view and put aside for the sake of reducing drama. What I couldn't forgive was her comments toward my wife the second she came through the door. She claimed that my wife wasn't really that sick, and was just doing it to get out of work, when, in reality, my wife was working online literally from the bathroom in between vomiting. The kicker was when my sweet sister tried to lighten the mood saying, well, at least, wife, is feeling better now, and mother-in-law said, I bet she's just here to get our money and attention, then not show her face for another month. I was livid. I told her she needed to shut up or leave, because this day was about supporting my wife and our baby, so she needed to do that. That ticked her off, so she screamed at my wife and I for being ungrateful until my wife cried, so I told her to just FK off already. She finally listened and left, and the rest of the party went somewhat smoothly. However, some family members said I should have just ignored her, and wife doesn't want to talk about it. So, was I in the wrong? Not the asshole. You defended your heavily pregnant and sick wife from her nasty, unsympathetic mother. If mother-in-law wanted a baby shower done her way, she could have thrown one herself. What was she accusing you of being ungrateful for? She didn't contribute to the shower, and it sounds like she hasn't done much apart from criticize and throw screaming tantrums. I doubt this is the first time mother-in-law has behaved like this, and she knows she can get away with it if people just ignore her. She needed to be called out. I hope your wife feels better soon and congratulations on the baby. Not the asshole. You did the right thing. Mother-in-law was seriously slandering her own daughter, your wife. Your wife was just too sick to give mother-in-law the pushback she deserved, so you stepped in to defend your wife. Those who said, ignore her, Mill, are asking you to stand idle while letting your wife get maligned. You really don't want to allow any possible doubt about maybe you're in tacit agreement with those insults. I do hope their reactions were temporary insanity, rather than indicating that they declined to defend their own spouse. Not the asshole, nope. You do not ignore behavior that is going to upset your already sick wife. You did the right thing. And since she made her feelings known, if she continues this way, mother-in-law might just not ever see her grandchild. You got your Papa Bear on, and that's great. Be ready to wield a large shitty stick when baby is born as well. Mother-in-law will not be able to handle all the attention the baby will get. Suggestion. Do not have mother-in-law over to your house to see the baby. Meet at a relative's place or restaurant. That way when she arcs up, and she will arc up, you can simply leave rather than having to boot her out. Ultimately, it's worth considering going low or no contact with her, but make that decision when your wife is feeling better. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's common now to do co-ed showers. If mother-in-law wanted a say in how or when the party was done, then Mill should have gotten on it and planned the party herself. You were right to stand up for your wife and protect her from your MIL's negativity. It's your wife's day to be celebrated, and she shouldn't have to endure such hurtful comments. Am I the asshole for telling my friend to suck it up when we went to a wedding without alcohol? Please forgive me for bad English, not a native speaker. So back in our college days, we were a group of 4, me, Ethan, Vivian and Jayesh, names are changed. Jayesh was Indian and he had come to our college to study. Actually, me and Jayesh were both foreigners who were here to study. I chose to settle down here. Jayesh came from a very wealthy family. They have a very big jewelry business. From what I learned from Jayesh, he was a native of the state Rajasthan in India, and people from that state are really famous for being involved in business and are ultra-conservative, very religious, don't consume alcohol and meat etc. Here is where the story starts. We graduated about 4 years ago and we're all busy in our lives, but we're still in touch with each other. As mentioned earlier, I too was a foreigner, from an Eastern European country, but chose to settle in America. Jayesh went back to India. One day Jayesh had us all on a call and informed us that he is getting married in India and invited us to the wedding. He offered all of his first-class tickets to and fro. The wedding took place in a 5-star hotel and the festivities lasted for a week. It was literally a free luxury vacation for us. Jayesh informed us beforehand that alcohol and meat-based food won't be available in the wedding, and we had no problem with that. When we arrived in India and reached the venue, we were overwhelmed. There was different dress code for each time of each day. Tailors available to personally stitch the clothes for the guests, sightseeing tours of the city and whatnot. Ethan seemed a bit miffed during the 4th day, when his discontent was getting way more visible. I asked him what the issue was. He said that this wedding feels so crappy without alcohol and food feels incomplete without meat. I told him that he was okay with it when the invitation was made and he can either suck it up and enjoy the wedding, it's not like the food was bad or anything, the food was great, or leave, which made him cranky for the entire trip. When we returned, he told me that it was rude of me to tell him to suck it up and he was forced to get through a dry wedding for a week. I told him that if he was miffed about alcohol and meat amidst all that grand festivities that basically made the wedding a free vacation, there is some serious issue with him and he is acting very ungrateful. Am I the asshole for saying that? Not the asshole. He does need to grow up and suck it up. He got a free week's vacation in India. He wasn't banned from alcohol and meat for a week. He could have spent his own money outside the wedding and got those things. It sounds like he behaved like a toddler. Personally, I think not the asshole. He was complaining about something that isn't a real issue. You pointed it out, he's pissed. That's on him. Ethan was an uninformed, hangry, alcoholic who was detoxing without warning because he couldn't be bothered to do basic research on the country, region he was going to. Also, a brat who has no concept of how much your friend's family spent on bringing him there. Not the asshole. You were calling him out on his rudeness, not being rude yourself. He was acting like a complete child. Not the asshole. People's obsession with drinking for every occasion is deeply concerning. Not the asshole. Life is more than getting shit-faced, or even buzzed. Experiencing a wedding in India would be fascinating. Who needs to get drunk?